So here's the deal. You've got two of the biggest names in tech, Anthropic and Google. Each one has a protocol that defines how AIs talk to the rest of the world. And it begs the question, are we on the brink of the very first AI protocol war? This is a really big deal because whoever wins could shape how we all build with AI for a long, long time.
And this quote from Solomon Hykes, the guy who created Docker, just hits the nail on the head. You know, when Google announced their protocol A2A, they were very careful. They said it complements Anthropic's protocol, MCP, which is already super popular. But a lot of folks in the industry are seeing something else entirely. They see a fight brewing. So what is actually going on here? Let's get into it.
To really get what this is all about, we have to go back to the basic problem that both of these protocols are trying to solve. And it's a problem that, honestly, anyone who's ever tried to build something with AI knows all too well. I like to call it the brilliant but blind AI problem.
Okay, let's just imagine for a second. You're a developer, and you've spent months building this incredible internal AI assistant for your company. It's smart, it's fast, it's ready to change the game for your whole team. But there's always a but, right?
It's completely blind. It's basically trapped in a little box, totally cut off from where all the real work is happening. It can't see your team's Slack conversations, it can't look at your code on GitHub, and it definitely can't access any customer info in your database. And without all that context, it's not nearly as powerful as it could be.
So what do? You start building these little bridges, one by one. You write a bunch of custom code to hook it up to Slack. Then you do it all over again for GitHub. And then again for the database. Each one is a huge pain, taking weeks of just wrangling with different APIs, different authentication, different error messages. It's just slow, frustrating, and it's no way to build.
And that whole mess is the exact reason the first protocol in our story was created. Meet MCP. And honestly, the best way to think about it is as a USB port, but for AI. One standard, elegant way to connect everything.
So MCP, which stands for Model Context Protocol, is an open standard that came from Anthropic. And the promise is super simple. Instead of building a dozen different custom plugs for everything, you just build one standard port. It's just like USB. Any AI that speaks MCP can now connect to any tool that has an MCP server. Simple as that.
And what's just wild is how fast this thing took off. I mean, look at this timeline. It just exploded. In about 6 months, it went from being brand new to being the industry standard. Even competitors like OpenAI got on board. And it was right then, at the absolute peak of MCP's hype, that Google decided to make their move.
So how does it actually work? Well, an MCP server just standardizes how a tool introduces itself to an AI. It basically publishes 3 things. You've got resources, which is just the data the AI is allowed to see. You have prompts, which are kind of like little instruction manuals. And then the big one, tools, the actual functions the AI can use, like run_query. So MCP was a huge win, right? Problem solved. Well, not quite. It was brilliant at connecting one AI to many different tools. But that success actually uncovered a new, much trickier problem. What happens when a problem is just too big for one AI to handle all by itself?
Let's look at a real-world example. A support ticket comes in from a customer, and they're saying, hey, I was charged twice for my subscription, and now I can't even log into my account. This isn't a simple question. It's a messy problem that touches on both billing and user accounts.
Now, let's say your company has specialized AIs for all these things. But how do they actually team up to solve this? The main customer service AI needs to talk to the billing AI to figure out the double charge. And then it probably needs to get the authentication AI involved to fix the login problem. MCP just doesn't have an answer for that. It's built for one agent talking to one tool, not for a team of agents working together.
And that right there, that's the exact gap that Google's A2A protocol is designed to fill. So if MCP is the USB port for tools, then you can think of A2A as kind of a social network for AIs. It lets them find each other and team up on complicated jobs. The core idea of A2A is this thing called the agent card. It's just a little JSON file that every agent has, and honestly, it's just like a LinkedIn profile, but for an AI. It lists all of its skills, what it's good at, and how you're supposed to talk to it. This is what lets that customer service agent discover the billing agent and know exactly how to ask for help.
And here's the other crucial part. A2A is built for tasks that take time. It's asynchronous. So unlike a quick, simple MCP call that happens instantly, an A2A task has a whole life cycle. It can be working for hours, it can pause and ask for more information, and you can track its progress. This is so much closer to how real business actually gets done. Okay, to really make this difference crystal clear, let's use an analogy. I want you to imagine an auto repair shop that is run entirely by different AI agents. This is a great way to see how both protocols can actually fit together in one single process.
So when the manager agent needs to talk to the mechanic agent about a weird rattling noise, that's an A-to-A conversation. It's agent to agent. But when that mechanic agent needs to actually do something, like plug in a diagnostic scanner or look up a procedure in a repair manual, that's an MCP call. That's agent to tool. So you see, A-to-A is how the agents talk to each other, and MCP is how those agents use their tools.
Now that seems like a nice, clean way to separate things, right? But this is where we get right to the heart of that tug of war. What happens when the line between what's a tool and what's an agent starts to get really, really blurry?
I mean, think about a really advanced AI-powered search engine. It can understand what you're asking, it can reason about your intent, and it can even have a little back-and-forth conversation with you. So, is that a tool that you should connect to with MCP, or is it an agent that you should collaborate with using A2A? The honest answer is, it could be either, and that's the tricky spot developers are in right now.
So this table gives us a great final snapshot of these two worlds. MCP is all about that vertical connection, an agent talking down to its tools. It's structured, it's instant, and has this huge community behind it. A2A is horizontal, agents talking to each other. It's conversational, it's asynchronous, and it's a bit more focused on those big enterprise workflows.
So, after all that, what's the big takeaway for right now? It's pretty clear. You use MCP for what it's amazing at, plugging in tools. You start learning A2A for this new world of multi-agent teamwork. And the truth is, any really complex system in the future is probably going to need both.
And that leaves us with one last really interesting question to think about. What happens when our tools get so smart that they start to reason and converse just like agents do? Will that line between tool and agent just fade away? And if it does, maybe this whole protocol war doesn't end with a winner, but with the two sides merging into one single standard for everything.
Thank you. Share and subscribe to Learn AI for more AI insights.